All right, we're here. We're back again for our last matchup in the Jello Pudding Pops bracket. We have, can you scroll that down some? But we have Different Worlds, which was our number 2 seed, facing My Wife and Kids, which was a 6 seed, which really upset girlfriends. Which
Terrible.
I'm disappointed in you guys.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first upset we had was Wayne's or My Wife and Kids versus
Tracy Ellis
versus girlfriends.
Ross.
So
are you kidding me?
So it's a little bit of a weird matchup, but styles make fights, and here we are. So let's get into our criteria. Again, it's star power, supporting cast, guest appearances. We added 2 new ones because it's a new round, and that's sustainability and theme song. Theme song seems to be an X factor in a lot of these matchups. So keep that in mind. So let's get into it. We have star power. Who put Sinbad? Yeah, Sinbad as a star. We had Sinbad, and then we had Damon Wayan, who played Michael Kyle on the show My Wife and Kids.
I don't think.
I don't know if Sinbad was a star. It's part of the supporting cast.
But it's hard to pull the actual. Well, I feel like it's Dwayne.
Yeah, it'd be Dwayne Wayne, who was Kadeem Hardison, and then Jasmine Guy, who was Whitley. So Dwayne Wayne and Whitley were the stars of the show. So if we flip that and we face them against Damon Wayans, then I think I got Different World. But if it's just solely Sinbad, I'm going My Wife and Kids.
So we just have to figure out.
We had to switch it. Who do you feel the star is?
I feel Dwayne Wayne is the.
Not Dwayne Wayne.
I'm no Dwayne.
Dwayne Wayne, and then who's Kadeem Hardison, and then Jasmine Guy, who's Whitley. So if they are the stars, I think I go with them.
If they're the stars, I'm going with them. I'm going with Kadeem.
Okay.
Ditto. I like Jasmine Guy as Whitley.
Okay. And then My Wife and Kids. They obviously have Damon Wayne, who might be better than both Marlon and Sean. Just saying.
Originator. OG.
Just saying.
Why you guys say that?
Just saying. But then there's still like the older brother who did Living Color. Yeah. So star power, we're going Different Worlds. Like off the strength that it's Dwayne and Whitley. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. And you have Different World too.
Correct.
Okay.
Do Mundo, because the Jasmine Guy.
I gotcha. So moving on, we're into supporting.
Thirst bucket.
We're into supporting cast here. So there was Kim Wayans, who was Allison. Jasmine's a star. But Amir Williams, who was JT. BB Smith, Gloria. Ruben Grundy, who was Ernest. And then for My Wife and Kids, we got Tisha Martin. It's not Campbell. That's what you told me. She's divorced now. George Gore, who was Michael Jr.
Yeah,
Parker McKenna Posey, who was Katie Kyle. I think that's a baby. And then Jennifer Freeman Claire, who's the oldest daughter of that situation. So where are we leaning towards?
Different World.
I'm going with Different World.
I feel like your only case would be because of the family for you.
I like the family dynamic, but I also just feel like Tisha Martin is more noticeable than anybody else on the Different World show. I'm not including Jasmine.
Okay.
But you have Sinbad on there.
Sinbad's there. He was a coach. But other than Sinbad, like, who else was on the show? And do you remember what their jobs were? Because remember, there was, like, the cook. What's his name?
Jasmine Guy is
But she's a star. We put her in the star bracket, so she's no longer in there.
Okay, I see your point.
So I think I go with Tisha Martin. I like the family dynamic. They were supporting Damien well. I mean, these were just characters amongst them, but
family.
Listen, I've been consistent. In my argument.
Their new name is Mr. Family Guy from now on. Mr. Family Chains.
Terrible. I'll let you work on it. But no, just kind of thinking about them, I don't remember them show. I don't remember what their responsibilities were. And really, it's just Dwayne and Jasmine getting married. Like, that's what makes the show run. And then their interactions with them. So no, I think I like.
Well, for me,
My Wife and Kids.
For me personally, it touches on ups and downs in relationships. It touches on you being a teenager in college. It touches on the fact that you're going through struggles at that time as well. All these different characters symbolize different people in my life. So I can easily go with the supporting cast from there because you can easily relate to certain things that's going on.
I like the idea of what these characters were supposed to represent and how they were brought into the show, but They just don't sway me. I see your point. I'm just saying it doesn't sway me. I think I like My Wife and Kids better. So.
Yep. I got Different World. I said that.
Why you have Different World again?
Huh?
Why you got Different World?
Just to piggyback off of you, it relates to young people of color.
Yeah.
Going through struggles around that time frame. Education, relationships, friendships, or whatever the case is.
Does anybody remember the premise of the show? Like initially why Different Worlds was created and who the creator is?
No, actually, I don't know that.
Bill Cosby helped co-create Different Worlds.
I'm choosing My Wife and Kids now.
Also, just off the strength, like the whole show was supposed to be based on one of the people that are in the guest appearances. But I mean, I guess we can get into that now. So one of the guest appearances was Lisa Bonet. Lisa Bonet, if you remember, who was she in the Bill Cosby show?
Madonna.
Yeah, she was a daughter. I think I was supposed to say Claire Huxtable. She's not Claire. She's Denise Huxtable.
Yep.
So the premise of Different Worlds was supposed to be Denise going to college at Hillman. Where did Bill Cosby graduate from? Hillman College. So it's supposed to be her returning to his alma mater. But she only lasted one season because she ended up getting pregnant. And then Bill was like, I don't want no pregnant Denise Huxtable on the show. So then she ended up disappearing. And then the focus became on Jasmine and Dwayne.
I'm going with My Wife and Kids for the clean sweep.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
No,
Well,
I don't want anything associated with Mr.
No,
No.
be disrespectful. But yeah, let's get into guest appearances. So there's Lisa Bonet, who was on season 1, who was supposed to be the star, technically. Jada Pinkett Smith, Diane Carroll, Patti LaBelle, Roscoe Lee.
But hold on, is it fair to say she got outshined as well too?
She wasn't even on the show no more.
But with that one season, do you feel like with her starring there, do you think she got outshined by the different?
I think what the show became, I don't think she could have lived up to that.
I see.
Yeah. But like initially that show started off really slow. So Roscoe.
So basically, you say it took off when she left.
I'm saying that they had added more. They had added more characters, and they just became more realistic in what like a black institution was about. Roscoe Lee Brown, Jennifer Lewis, Felicia Rashad, Bill Cosby, Billy D. Williams, Blair Underwood, David Greer, Gladys Knight, Keenan Waynes, Jesse Jackson, Montel Williams, Orlando Brown, Teresa Randall, Tupac, Whoopi Goldberg, Tisha Campbell, and then for My Wife and Kids, it's just D. Ray Davis, Megan Good, Cat Williams, Tyson Beckford, Shaq, Raven, Michael Jordan, Brian McKnight, Sophia Vergara, and then Terry Crews.
Different Worlds.
I mean, legends on there. Yeah, okay. Tupac, that's unheard of.
What other sitcom was he on?
That's a rare sighting right there.
Yeah, was not. Jada Pinkett Smith too, who, if you remember, those were the two that were paired up in the episode where Jada had went to school and then Pac comes out of nowhere and thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like how it was before when we grew up, and she's like, yeah, nah, like that's not who I am anymore.
Jesse Jackson and Montel Williams.
Hating ass Jesse.
Orlando Jones.
Don't sing your peoples.
Yeah.
Orlando Jones, he's still acting. He's still in some stuff right now.
So who's leaning with what?
Different World.
I'll go last.
You got Different World. Listen, man, I want to pick My Wife and Kids because of Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, but I can't. You got Pac out here. Pac is hard to beat. Whoopi Goldberg. I think she was a professor that came into the school. She's phenomenal. I thought she did a really good job in that role. I got guest appearances. And plus, it's Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm going Different World.
So I'm just gonna debate something right quick, right?
Okay.
The guest appearances on My Wife and Kids. When you refer to these episodes, they're funny as fuck.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
Very true.
When they star on there, they make it a point for it to be memorable.
So they made like the most use out of those guest appearances.
Yes.
Is what you're saying? It wasn't like a cameo you walk through and walk out.
No, because Cat Williams was almost like he was consistent on the TV show.
Okay.
When Terry Crews is on, it was funny as hell. He was the fitness guy. He was going bananas.
Workout.
So I can't really remember. I know Brian McKnight was on it. I did watch a few of the. I seen the Raven one. Tyson Beckford's a little iffy. I'm not a big fan of.
Michael Jordan beat Michael 10-0
in
that game. So yeah, he was heavily featured throughout that episode. I see what you're saying. Okay.
and in this argument, the reason why I'm going with My Wife and Kids is because of the funny moments on there. I actually,
Are you, or because Bill Cosby's on the other list?
No, not because of that at all. Like I said, I picked, even though this is quality and quantity all in one.
Yeah.
But from what I was a fan of and for what I can actually watch for days would be My Wife and Kids. So I'm picking that. I got guest appearances with that.
But that same point could kind of be made for Different World too, because
Facts.
Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac, they were definitely featured throughout certain episodes because they were the main ones. And so I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I think there were definitely some of these were just like in and out. But there were moments where some of these guest appearances they were featured and the story kind of ran on them. So yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So I got Different World, you got Different World, and you got My Wife and Kids for guest appearances.
Sure do.
So sustainability, My Wife and Kids was on from 2001 to 05. Different World was on from 1987 to 93. So that's 6 years. My Wife and Kid on for 5. So with that being said, I mean, I think it's black and white. 6 is better than 5. Just to give you some, just to give you some more information, though, it is somewhat close. Even though one was 5, the other one was 6. Different World was on for 144 episodes. My Wife and Kids 123. So you're talking about like a 20 episode difference. I mean,
so it was stretched out, is what you were saying.
It's somewhat close. It's not like the Jeffersons where it's 10 years and like no one's beating them except maybe Bill. But we'll talk about that next week. So yeah, sustainability.
Can I be absent for that conversation?
No.
I don't.
No, you cannot. So yeah, I got Different World just based off of numbers solely. But if someone picked My Wife and Kids, I wouldn't be upset. I don't think 20 episodes makes like a huge difference like that.
What? But one of the previous ones, it was like 101 to like 125 or something like that.
118.
118 to like
101 to 127. That was our last one that we did, which was Wayan Brothers and Moesha. Yeah. Listen, you didn't make that argument. I did. So what you saying?
I'm going
what
My Wife and
saying?
Kids, man.
But I've been consistent with what I picked. Like if you had more seasons and more episodes, I picked you for sustainability.
So my fault. Who had less and who had more again?
So My Wife and Kids had 123, and they were on for 5 years. Different World was on for 6 years and did 144 episodes.
Different World.
So Different World got that one.
Different World got that one.
Yeah.
All right. So breaking into theme song, our last criteria here. We have Different World and their theme song, and then we obviously have My Wife and Kids and their theme song. Now I'll give another $10 out if someone can remember My Wife and Kids theme song.
I can't remember shit. I can remember visuals.
Visually, what it looked like.
Different World was a.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a whole mini movie. Like when it starts off, you see what I'm like.
True.
And it was. That shit was very colorful at the same damn time.
Very true.
But I can't remember the theme song. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna put out
for
some fake
My Wife and Kids or for Different World.
Different World.
Oh no, you pretty much got it on the head. I was talking about My Wife and Kids.
My Wife
remember
and
that
Kids,
one? Does it?
And I watched the show. I can't honestly tell you that I know a word. Does it even have a theme song?
Doesn't exist. It literally has jazz music and then breaks into the scene.
Oh, I guess. Okay, so
yeah, you were right. You were right.
So theme song goes to Different World.
Different World. Yeah, I'm picking Different World solely off the fact that My Wife and Kids doesn't really exist. I will say, though, it was hard to pick. I wanted to make it a tie and have both of them lose because the initial theme song for Different World featured Lisa Bonet and Kadeem, and it was whack. It was just straight whack. The one you're talking about is the second one, where she's not on the show anymore. And that one's popping because they introduced like Sinbad and like some of the other characters who are funny on the show.
They go through like the whole fucking cast on there.
But the first one is super whack. And I think it's so whack that I don't want to grade it. I literally don't want to give either or the check.
Okay, fuck it.
I'm going to just void myself out of that.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, you speak about numbers about, 6 being better than 5 and 3 being better than 4 being better. So, if we speaking on numbers, this is aside what we're talking about.
Not about this.
Not about this. It's actually a movie on Netflix called The Black Godfather, and he speaks on numbers. So I think you should check it out because I honestly think you might like the shit.
I can look into
it. Yeah,
no,
he's cool. Only thing he speaks about is numbers. He said he chooses numbers over love. It's cool. It's cool. And if you see who he is, you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Numerology is real.
Check it out.
Numbers represent life.
Well, that too.
Gotcha. I mean, theme song, I'll go Different World because the second one was popping, but the first one's super whack. So with that being said, let's summarize our rounds, who we're giving to what. Keisha, you want to start us off? Who do you have for what?
For star power,
Right.
and because we switched it to
switched.
Dwayne and Jasmine, right?
Yeah.
I'm going star power with them. So I
Okay.
gave that to them. Supporting cast,
Same.
I gave to Different World.
Mm-hmm.
Guest appearances, I gave to My Wife and Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainability clearly goes to Different World because it's a numbers game.
Theme.
Theme song goes to Different World. But can we debate that? Like, if a show doesn't have a theme song and it just gets right into the show, like, does that make a difference on anything? Or
It makes a difference when you talk about like certain, like, the Martin show. Like,
Yeah,
it's memorable.
facts.
Like, that adds into it. If you can bring something to a culture and start to sing it out loud and other people can join in, I think it really stands out. It makes your sitcom stand out. If you don't have one, you don't have one.
I see.
I don't think it hurt their show. Don't get me wrong. You're able to get into the content easier, faster, with less time, like, being wasted. But that's not iconic. Like, it doesn't make your show stand out. It doesn't pop like the other ones.
I see.
So I think it should be included. But
Okay,
yeah.
so Different World got that one.
Right. What did you have? Yeah.
Different World with the Sweet.
Different World with the Sweet.
With the sweep?
Yeah.
Really? You ain't giving nothing to My Wife and Kids?
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yeah. For star power, I gave it to Different World because we switched it. Jasmine Guy, who was Whitley, Kadeem Hardison, who was Dwayne Wayne. Supporting cast, I ended up giving to My Wife and Kids. Again, I'm a big family person, so I like that. And I just don't feel like the shows or the characters on the supporting cast for Different Worlds were memorable. Like, no one can remember their titles and what they did.
They were students.
Yeah, great title. They were kids on My Wife and Kids show. Guest appearances, I ended up giving a Different Worlds because of Tupac solely. Sustainability, numbers game, Different World. And then theme song, because My Wife and Kids is lacking in one, I begrudgingly gave it to Different Worlds because their first one was super whack. So I had Different World for one. And so, yeah. So that's our matchup. That's what we got. Those are all 4 of our rounds. Be sure to check us out on Facebook or our IG page, Oxlife, OXLYFE, in case you're struggling. Podcast. You can get out, vote, leave a comment.
You better fucking vote.
Exactly. We
Please,
also,
you're not doing nothing but just scrolling. Just vote.
Yeah.
Take like 2 seconds and then go about your fucking funky ass
we
day.
have like 44 views, but yet 10 votes. Fix that, guys. Fix that.
Get
Like,
it
oh, you
together.
looking, but like, oh, what are these? Oh, they're not.
And it's
up to nothing.
literally like pick left or right. So
Just
there's
tap
that.
the fucking little button.
There's that. Also, you can find us on audio. We had the podcast going on. That's like 6 or 7 episodes strong. We added this Clarity for the Culture as bonus content, so you guys can check us out or listen to us as you're walking, talking, whatever. You have it available. We're available on all platforms, and then we'll also have our email included in our YouTube. So in case you want something answered or a segment listened to or something to be spoken about or discussed, email us. Let us know. We can keep it anonymous. Whatever you're feeling, we can do. So, well, that's us.
Don't be afraid to DM us with any questions.
Yes.
If you want to talk to us, we're on all of us on the Ox Life page. If you got a question specifically to each one of us or to us as a whole, just leave it. You want to contact us on our IG pages, please do so. Other means of social media will be up shortly. So
we are the People's Podcast, and we can't be that without you guys. So make sure you subscribe.
Stay engaged, please.
Follow the page, follow us, Uncle Keys. We got OXG _chains, and then we have Cedrikiana.
Also, stay tuned for our next week's matchup.
Shut your mouth.
Our next week's matchup, we're going to have all the number 1 seeds.
Yes.
So the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, Family Matters. I mean, these are shows that are going to be heavy hitters. You're not going to want to miss that content. So stay tuned. You're going to find out more next week.
Yep.
All right.
We
Outside
out.
signing off. Can't be good at it.
Oh, shit.